Okay, so I'm hoping this angle is okay. My tripod's actually broken, which is really annoying, so I need to buy a new one. But happy Vlogmas. Today I am filming more of a sit down video and I'm going to be talking about my 2023 favorites. So I'm trying to go through 2023 favorites, but I think I have got maybe a little bit more. So I thought I'd break it up into categories and sort of just go through it all with you. So these are my favorites of 2023. Let's get into it. I was going to start with makeup, but I think I'm going to start with like books and stationery. So let's start with reading. Some of the books that I don't actually have are some of my favorites and they're on my like top tier list. And there's a few of those. And then I've also got 3 that were some of my favorite reads from like this half of the year, whereas these ones were more towards the beginning. So the first book I'm going to talk about is If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I believe that's how you say their name, but it just looks like this. I will pop a picture of it on the screen. I absolutely love that book. It's actually at my sister's at the minute. I do have a copy of that, but I recommend it to some of my friends, and all my friends that read it loved it. It's an incredible book. And I just think it's so well written. So I absolutely love that book. That's definitely one of my favorite reads for a really long time. Next is Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. Oh my goodness, that book ripped my soul apart. Like, it is such a good book, but it was really sad and I absolutely loved it, which sounds so bad, but honestly, I think it's just so well written. And it is a bit triggering. There are trigger warnings. Please like check before you read any of the books I recommend to you. But honestly, it is one of my favorite reads of this year. It is just so well written and such an amazing book. I'd highly recommend. Next is the Chloe Walsh Boys of Tommen series. I love the Boys of Tommen series so much. I think it is so incredibly well written. All the characters that are like entwined and how the story developed. I'm obsessed. I think it is one of the best series I've read in a really long time. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. There are, again, some very triggering topics that they talk about. And obviously, please check the trigger warnings. But I think she's an incredible writer and I absolutely love her books. So next is something that's obviously a little bit lighter. Again, it's by Lucy Score and it's Things We Never Got Over. Again, one of my favorite reads. I absolutely love that book and I am excited to continue on the series. They're all in my TBR, which is about 300 books long. But yeah, I absolutely love that book as well. So those are the ones that I don't have on me. So next I have these 3, which are some of my favorites that I picked up this side of the year. So first is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Now, I know I'm a bit late to the trend with this one, but honestly, it's such a good book and I can't wait to read the rest of the series. It's just such a gripping like murder mystery book, which I tend to not go towards, but I had seen so many good reviews of it that I thought, you know what, why not? So this is honestly a really good book and it's also something that got me back into reading as well, so I'd highly recommend picking up this one. I haven't read the rest of the series, but I've heard great things about the whole series, so if you guys haven't read it and are thinking about reading it, I definitely recommend it. Next is the Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I'm not sure, I'm sorry if I pronounce their name wrong, but this again is a really great, like fun, lighter-hearted read and I absolutely love this book. I think it's such a good book and I really want to read the next one in the series again, which is about her best friend and I believe her cousin. So this is a really great book. Like read. I read this in like 2 days. It's an extremely quick read for me. It does look a little bit thicker, but I think it's just so easy to like flick through and read. I was really immersed in the story and I did really enjoy this book. If you guys haven't read The Spanish Love Deception, I would recommend it because I also sort of held off a little bit because I wasn't really sure if it was a book that I'd enjoy and I ended up really enjoying it. It really did surprise me and I think that's why it is like a little bit up there on my rating, just because I really wasn't expecting it. Next is again probably one of the most heartbreaking books, but I do love books that make me want to cry. I love books that just really, you really get to know the characters and really get into the story, and that was this book for me. I cried my eyes out reading the end of this book. It is just heartbreaking. This is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. My dyslexia is coming through when I read all these authors' names, and yes, I am dyslexic and I do read a lot, but yes, I love reading. I may not be like the best at it, but yes, I've come a long way and I do enjoy reading now. But oh my god, first of all, the cover is literally so foreshadowing, because it literally shows you a full and broken heart. And yes, heartbroken. My goodness, it is so heartbreaking, but it's an incredible story. It's a great book and I'd highly recommend it if you haven't read it. Those are all my book recommendations. Again, please check all like trigger warnings and reviews and just make sure you know what you're getting into reading any of the books. I just don't want to recommend anything that could accidentally trigger you or anything like that. But yes, these are some of my favorite books. Next, I'm going to go on to like stationery. So this is just a notebook and it's actually from Asda, but honestly it has been my saving grace this year. I have written all my notes, all my essay plans, and then all my to-do lists in here, and it has just kept me so organized and on task. So I'd highly recommend anyone who is an unorganized person to get a notebook that they love, carry it around with them 24/7, and just write everything down. Like to-do list, I write down my packing list, I write down what I'm gonna put in my essays, what I'm putting in videos, anything that I think of, I write in this book. And you can use your notes, but I tend to not look back at my notes, but this comes everywhere with me and I absolutely love it. Moving on from that is my planner. This is by Caroline Gardner, and you can see that the pattern is so cute. So I actually only got this in like September, but it has been my saving grace again. It is the best planner. So it gives you a weekly spread, a monthly spread, a goals and deadline sheet, expenses and bill sheets, savings, little extras and summary sheets, and a grocery list. And now it is done by month, like for example this is December, but it's not done by date or anything like that. So I started this book in September, which is obviously like at the end of the year, and then I've got January at the beginning, and then because it's not dated I can just keep going from back to front, which I think is excellent. And I also have birthdays and anniversaries in the front. But this again has been my saving grace with this. These two together, I've been unstoppable. I've been so organized and so on top of everything, creating lists and making sure everything's done in my planner. So I'd highly recommend getting something similar. But yes, these have been ride or die favorites since September, and I don't think I could have gotten through uni so far without these. So next is beauty. So some of these again are from this half of the year and some are from the beginning part of the year. So I'm gonna go through skincare first. So this is actually a little one, and I've been getting a bunch of these little ones, and then I'm gonna hopefully get the big one soon. I've just been getting the little ones because they have actually been out of stock of the big ones in the little shop that I go to in Greenwich that has all Korean skincare. But this is the Beauty of Joseon. I don't know how you pronounce it, that's so bad. And it is the Relief Sun Rice and Probiotics SPF 50 plus PA, and then there's 4 pluses. I think that's the protection level. But honestly, this is one of my favorite sunscreens ever. I do like the Bondi Sands one, but this actually tops it. I have to say, this is one of the best sunscreens I have ever used. It does not break me out, there is no white cast, and it just sits so smoothly under makeup. So I'd highly recommend this sunscreen if you have not tried it. I also don't think it's that expensive either. Obviously it's not cheap, as in it's not under £10, but it's not so expensive that it's like 30 plus. Moving on to actually something from the same store. I really couldn't tell you what this is called, but it's the 1025 toner, and it just looks like this, and this is the best toner I have ever used. The guy actually recommended me it in the store. I don't really use toners. I haven't been a big toner person for many years, but I was struggling a lot with like texture and bumpiness, and I really needed like an exfoliating of the skin, because my skin was just not at its best, and I got recommended this and I love it. I have had this for about 3 months and I'm only halfway through, and I use it every single morning and night, and I absolutely love this, and I'd highly recommend it if you haven't picked this up. Again, this wasn't too expensive. So the, I guess you could say, last skincare item would be this. This is the Omega Water Cream from the Inkey List, and it just looks like this. This is an incredibly great moisturizer. It's very nourishing and it has that wateriness, but it's not too like greasy and it's not too oily. My skin has been more on the oilier combination side rather than the dry side, and this has been incredible. I use this predominantly more in the morning, but I do use it in the evening too. But in the evening I tend to stick to my CeraVe just to give that little bit more hydration. But this is incredible. My makeup lays over it so well and I absolutely love it. This is the moisturizer favorite of mine at the moment. I have one, I guess you could call it body, but it's more of a perfume oil. Now I have no idea how you can get this if you aren't in London, but this is by the VIP Musk, and it is their Emirati Oud oil, and it is a perfume oil. I heard about it from a bunch of, oh my god, it smells incredible, YouTubers, how they use perfume oil. And then I have a friend that went to Egypt a lot, and he said that they always use perfume oils and it's very popular there. So I thought I'd pick one up, and I picked up this little set of 3, and it had 3 in there. This one called Palace Oud and one called Rose Musk. The other 2 are lovely, but the one's a bit more fresh and one's just a little bit more muted. This is so good. It is my favorite scent of all time. It's oody, it's spicy, it's warm, it's got a little bit of vanilla and cardamominess to it, but it's not too strong. It's honestly my favorite perfume oil of all time and one of my favorite scents. I love putting this on in the morning. I just put it on my wrist and my neck and it smells incredible. It also lasts on clothes as well, which is great. Like if I put it on my neck, I can smell it on my clothes, and I absolutely love it. It stays all day and I love this scent so much. So next, let's go into makeup. So makeup, I have like little sections, I suppose you could say. I have like a lip section, I have concealer, I have eyebrow products, blush, a powder, and then a setting spray. So first, I think I'm going to go on to lip products, as technically I have 4, but 3 are from the same company and 2 are the same thing. So it depends sort of what you're counting. Let's start with lip balm. So this is the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in Vanilla Beige, and it just looks like this, and I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite products. It is incredible, and it's probably one of the best lip balms I own other than the Laneige. I love it so much. Next is from Rare Beauty, and this is the Delight Tinted Lip Oil. It just looks like this. I love this so much. It's one of my favorite lip oils ever, and it's honestly one of my favorite lip colors. I'm wearing it today, and I'd highly recommend this whole line and this one in particular. Next, I have the Rare Beauty Kind Words Matters lip liners in Fun Admired, and I love these. Again, I've got them both on today. These are probably some of my favorite lip liners I have ever tried. The colour is great, they last a really long time, and I absolutely love them. Next, I have brow products. So this is the NYX The Brow Glue in Taupe. I actually got this from my roommate. She was the one that was like, you need to try this, and I did, and I absolutely loved it, and I'd highly recommend it. I also have the trusty Got To Be eyebrow gel. I have been raving about this in loads of my videos. I rave about this a lot. It's one of my favorite products as well. And these two for your brows are just unstoppable. For blush, I'm actually sure you guys would have guessed it. As much as I love my Charlotte Tilbury, Rare Beauty is my tried and true and trusted. My favorite one is Joy and Hope, and I have a mini Hope and the big size of Joy, and I absolutely love these. They're incredible. You can't beat Rare Beauty liquid blushes. Next is concealer, and again I have two which I have been raving about all year. One is the Kosas concealer, and then this is the Hourglass concealer. You can't compare to either of them. They are both just some of my favorite products, and I would highly recommend them if you haven't tried them. I think this one's slightly cheaper, but this one is also worth the price. Highly recommend both of these. Next is a powder. Again, this is a recommendation from my roommate and from TikTok. This is the Huda Beauty Pound Cake Loose Powder. I've just got the mini one, and it comes with like the little applicator, which is so cute, but I would 10 out of 10 recommend this. One of my favorite powders of all time. I do love my Rare Beauty one, and I do love my Laura Mercier one, but this does top it. I think this is one of the best powders I've tried, and if you have not tried the Huda Beauty powder, highly recommend. Lastly, for makeup is actually a setting spray that you can't even get except from on TikTok at the minute. This is extremely new to my collection, but honestly I have fallen in love with it. This is the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. It's 36-hour, no transfer, and oh my goodness, it is incredible. I love it so much. My makeup has stayed on all day. I don't need to reapply, I don't need to re-powder or anything. I am obsessed with this setting spray, and I love it so much. It does remind me a little bit of hairspray is the only like downside, but if you can get past that, it's incredible, and I would 10 out of 10 recommend this. This is one of my all-time favorite setting sprays, along with, you've guessed it, the Rare Beauty. Next I'm going to go on to shoes. I've got 3 pairs of shoes that I want to show you as my favorite. First is a newer purchase, but honestly one of the best purchases I've made, and these are my Doc Martens. These are honestly incredible. These are the best shoes ever. I absolutely love them. I haven't had any issues so far with breaking them in, but yes, I love these so much, and honestly they've just elevated my wardrobe so much. I love Doc Martens. I've wanted them for a really long time, and I finally took the plunge and got some, and they have become quickly one of my favorite pairs of boots. Next here, of course, if you guys know me, a pair of trainers. So I have 2. These are from Puma, and I'm not actually sure what they're called. I don't know if they've got a name. These don't have a name. They are just like this, and these kind of remind me a little bit of the New Balances in a way, just sort of the shape and the sort of soft materials that they are. But I absolutely love these. These have been a favorite of mine since I got them around when my birthday was in June, and I love them so much, and they honestly again elevate my wardrobe. Next is also a pair of shoes from Puma. These are the Puma Oslos. Now these obviously have been very popular. I'm sure you've seen these before. They're just a classic platform white trainer with the black colour at the end. You can get a bunch of different ones with different colours at the back, but I just love the black and white contrast. These are also one of my favourite pairs of white trainers. I love them so much, and I've been wanting a pair of these for a while, and I picked these up I think in September or around September, and honestly one of my best purchases. I love these so much, and I'd 10 out of 10 recommend getting a pair of these trainers. They are so comfortable, and honestly one of my favorite pairs. Lastly, let's move on to clothes. So I'm gonna start with a pair of jeans, but these are my M&S jeans. I have them in this color. I have them in a dark denim wash and a light denim wash, and they are my favorite jeans of all time. It's the M&S wide leg jeans. I get them in a long, and you do have to size up, I find, if you want that perfect fit, like of that bagginess. But honestly, they are my favorite jeans of all time, and by far one of my favorite purchases of this year. I have them in every colour now. And lastly, I have 2 jumpers to show you. It's more so the style rather than the jumper itself. Don't get me wrong, I love the jumper themselves, but it's more so that sort of style that I'm going for. So first is, this is actually from Primark. This is a cardigan. It's striped and then it has this really cool like detailed buttons. Just sort of looks like this. So I've really been into stripes this year. I think it started in France because it's very, very French, very Parisian to wear stripes, but yes. And then cardigans is something that I've been loving this autumn winter. Having a t-shirt underneath and a jumper on the top is incredible, and I've absolutely fallen in love with cardigans and striped jumpers this year. This jumper from Threadbare, I got this on ASOS though, and it's inside out, but I'm sure you will get the message. So it's just this really long oversized jumper with a high neck, but it's a loose high neck, so it kind of folds down and is lower on the neck, kind of like this one. It's not tight and it just sits nicely. So first of all, this color is to die for, but I am loving these oversized thick cozy jumpers that aren't too bulky and you can wear under a coat but are warm and cozy, kind of like the one I'm wearing now. Actually, I'm loving this style of jumper at the minute. They really elevate my wardrobe and honestly are some of my favorites. So that is all of my favorites of 2023. I really hope you guys enjoy this video and let me know your favorites down below. I hope you enjoyed this Vlogmas video. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.